Hey, party people. This is our 2026 energy reading. We are going to discuss today some things that we need to move, some energy that we need to move, and some energy that will be coming in for 2026. Some things we need to be aware of, and also just some things that are coming top of mind as my guides come in. So, first, I'm Ivy, and if you haven't liked or subscribed to the channel, click below, like, subscribe, post a comment, and let me know what you think about what I'm discussing. Yes, for my frequent people, I have been off the scene for some time, just trying to collect my energy and understand what my purpose and goal and alignment is. And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. One, let's get into holding back. Holding back. So sometimes one of the energies that is leaving us in 2025 is the holding back. So we have been holding back on a lot of the gifts that we have. We have not been sharing. We have not been bringing forth our gifts during 2025 as we should. And as I say this, you already know the thing that it is that you're holding back on. And so we all have a different message, and we all receive our gifts differently from the universe and from God. And we're supposed to share those gifts. And so because we don't share them, we enter into a space of stagnation almost. So our not sharing and not being visible and not showing up in the way that God is asking you to show up also it kind of immobilizes us because we need the action to receive the things that we are asking God for, and we need to move to complete the action. But we're not moving, we're sitting still. And what I'm hearing is that when we collectively decide to sit in a space and not move, we are also stagnating the other people who are waiting to hear our word, our message, the things that we are supposed to put out, the gifts that we are supposed to share. Because we're not sharing them, the recipients are also not receiving them. So there's someone that's waiting for what you have to offer, what you're supposed to put out there. And because you haven't put it out, that person is also sitting in stagnation. So you're not just slowing you down, you're also slowing down the followers um, around you and causing a stagnation in the pipeline. It's kind of like you're slowing down the flow of energy because you are not moving your energy as you should. So that is one of the things. Holding back is staying in 2025 and not moving into 2026 with us. So as you guys have heard on everyone's channel, and we're all talking about the year one collective year. So walking into this year one, okay? Walking into a year one. The year one of a life cycle will include a new timeline, a new identity, a new version of self. Collectively, we are all going into a version of new. And so you're not the only one changing. Everyone around you is changing. Everyone else looks different, feels different, and hear things differently. Okay. So there's honestly a lot that's coming in the year one. And one of those things is that recently, a lot of us have been receiving offers. We've been receiving opportunities to shift into a new timeline. And that shifting right now is the baseline for who we will be coming into 2026, which is a year of one. So everyone knows the life cycle is 9 years. Okay. Life cycle is 9 years. Entering into a year one is initiation. So year nine was your year of completion and release. So a lot of things that may have happened this year may have been around completing cycles. Some doors may have closed, other doors may have started to open because the year one is coming in as the year nine is releasing. Okay. So you may have a new job opportunity. You may have a new love on the horizon. New money may feel like it's coming in. And that energy is amazing when you feel it coming in. We have to also make sure that as these things come in, we are truly aligned with the opportunity. Um, we're gonna take these opportunities because we're gonna feel like this is something better than where we've been. And so we are honestly, these opportunities are coming in, y'all. They feel amazing. We feel like all the things are just moving, finally starting to release, starting to feel the pickup in energy. We honestly need these things to move into who we are gonna become. But I can almost guarantee you that this next stepping stone is only a piece. It's just a piece of where we're going in the next 9 years. Okay. So take that piece because you need it. You need that next step to start moving. You have to start shifting the energy. So yes, opportunities are coming in. They are flowing. It is so much coming in right now. And so right now your brain is saying, overwhelmed a little bit because you're like, okay, do I want to stay in the old version of me or do I want to move forward in the new version of me, right? You have to go. You have to move into the new version of you. I cannot say it enough that we cannot fear the new version of ourselves. So we've been creating a new version of ourselves for multiple years. We've been creating the new version of ourselves mentally. This is where it starts. We've been creating it inside. And then now these things are coming to fruition. They are live. It's like they're in action, right? So what we have to do is actively decide to become the new version of ourselves. Start living in that. Okay. So for 2026, I really don't want anybody looking backwards. We cannot look backwards. Y'all know what happens when you look back. What is looking back gonna do for you? Now, those previous versions of ourselves. Thank them. Thank them all. Spend some time over the next few days just thinking about the previous versions of you and thank all those versions because all those versions are collectively going to come in and make this new version of you. Okay. So the new version is pulling little pieces in this year one. It's pulling little pieces from all of the places, all of the versions, all of the things that we used to be. Okay. And so now we're smarter, we're wiser, we're more spiritual, we're more connected. We understand what the messages are when they're coming through. We can feel that. We feel the shift. We see things before they happen and we know things before they come to fruition. And so now we have to just trust that those things are the right moves for us and that everything that we've learned over the last life cycle, the last 9 years, and the previous cycles are going to carry us through this next cycle. Okay. So I made some notes before I got online today because sometimes I get here and um I forget some of the things that I was talking about earlier or thinking about earlier. So first, there are three things that we need to remove from us. Each of us has three things in our life that we need to remove from us in order to get to where we're going. So yes, that new identity is coming in, the new timeline is coming in. but there are still some things that we need to release, and only you will know what those three things are. I am here in relationships. Some friends are not for you. You need to look around at your circle and understand who is it. It's not that that person doesn't love you, and it's not that you don't love that person. Um, the version that you are walking into does not include those people. And so you have to make sure that, the version that you're creating, she will still be you. However, she will be disconnected from some of those things. For me, I already know it's eating habits. I fight with healthy eating. I go off and on my track. That is something that I need to release going into 2026, just being more consistent with my eating habits. I need to release the need for food. Um, that is something that I need to release. That may be something that resonates with some people who are here. Um, our attention to things that do not serve us. So some of us, it's okay to binge watch a show every now and then, but we're waking up to social media. We are waking up to our phones. We are waking up to things that should not be. There are some practices that we have been practicing in the last 9-year life cycle. Could be a spouse. I'm also getting that a parent. You can still love your parents and from a distance, okay? It's okay to remove toxicity from your life, okay? I'm also getting there are some jobs that are no longer serving to you that may need to move and shift in some cycles. Those jobs are really holding you sitting still in a job. So when I was in the job world, I moved a lot because I couldn't sit still. So I would get to year three, or 2.5, 3 years on a job, and I'm bored to death. And that's mostly because we constantly have the desire to learn new things. So don't think that releasing something or letting go of a job in this economy is going to stop you from getting to where you're going. It is actually that one job is preparing you for the next job that you're going to have, and the movement of energy is going to start to align you with the version of yourself that you need to be. So there's three things that need to be removed. And I'm not telling you to go set everything on fire and burn it all down in one day, but you do need to take some time and consider the three things. And these three things probably already came to you as I was talking. The three things that need to be removed from your life that are slowing you down from getting to your highest and best version. Okay. Um, there's also three things that needs to be put in place. So there's three practices that we need to put in place for 2026. Some of us, it is meditation. Some of us, it is um, new relationships. Some of us are not open to new relationships. I struggle with finding new friends and hoping that I find my circle in 2026, my collective energy. Some of us are not created to be with the masses because we're set apart because we're chosen. And so we have to understand that because we're chosen, we may have a smaller circle of friends, but we can also still engage in conversation and still also be open to meeting people and learning from those new people. Remember that everything that we do is always something, it's a learning experience. We need to pay attention to the cues. Messages come into us all the time. You might meet a person on the street and that person may have a message to you. We need to be more active with paying attention to the things that we need to put in place. So there are also three things that we need to put in place. We've already talked about jobs. We've talked about relationships. Now let's jump into money. Okay. So a lot of us are asking for money, and the three practices that we need to put in place will allow us to be more consistent. right? And so consistency does bring in more money. So being more consistent with our practices, being more consistent with our meditation, with our thoughts, being more consistent with how we handle business in general is going to bring in more money for us. Okay. I know we want the money, but the money is going to come when you actually walk in alignment with the things that you need to do. This is a year one. This is a whole new cycle. So everything that happened over the last 2 years or 3 years that was really, really hard for you is because you were ending a cycle. You were at the end of a cycle. And so that cycle is complete now. Do not carry that cycle into into your new cycle. Okay. Do not carry that into this new year one collective energy. This year one collective energy is here to give you what you need. And so you have to be open to that. You have to be open to wanting to receive what it is you've been asking for. I hear a lot of frustration around what's going on in the economy and thinking that we can do more to affect it. He get some water. I want you to hear this and hear this in the best way possible. Um, we subscribed, so we chose to be in this collective at this time. We chose to be a part of what's happening. Um, I understand that it's a lot of frustration around the moving pieces that are happening around us right now. We can we can collectively affect that, but only when our thoughts are clear. Um, we cannot feel anger. It's okay to have emotions around it, but we cannot get so bogged down in what's happening in the economy that we forget to understand what's happening with us, because ultimately we are the creators of our own reality. We are subscribed to a collective. We chose to live in the United States. We chose all of these things. So we are a part of the collective energy of that. That is a collective, that is a larger matrix that we live in. We individually cannot shift what's taking part in that big matrix. Is too much energy for us to individually shift. Now, as long as our thoughts are clear and everybody else that's on the same wave of us is actually helping to, stay focused. This is why we can't get angry. We can't get upset. Um we can you can have the emotions, but we can't dwell on it, because if we do, what we're doing is feeding all of the negative things that are going on. So the more that we talk about it, we actually give it power. Okay. So I want you to opt out of having conversations around negativity that's happening around us. I know it's hard because it's a lot of it that's just happening, right? You have to allow those things to just happen and stay focused on what we know is right for us. Um as we as we continue to stay focused on the positive of, like, hey, this is a transformation that we are undergoing, and things are going to be great on the other side of this transformation. So nothing happens by happenstance. So even when we are trying to grow things and we are trying to shift things, sometimes we can't see what's happening at that moment because we don't have the full picture of that matrix, right? We live in it. We don't have the full picture of where it's going as a collective. But there are some things that had to be broken down in order to get us to where we need to go as a collective. Um, is it happening in the best way? No, it's not. I feel I'm always very, very nervous about the way things are happening. However, we need to stay focused and fine-tuned on the things that we can control. W- We can't control everything. Your reality, is yours, and there are certain matrices that we are subscribed to. There are certain parts of it that we already subscribe to. And we came here to be a part of this collective to help shift the energy. Us keeping our energy as positive as possible, changing the conversation around things that are being said is actually going to um help to shift the collective. Okay. So we cannot fear because we're not here to fear. We cannot fear what's happening in the world. We cannot fear um the conversations because really it's just chatter. We can't fear those things. So collectively in 2026, as we're coming into this new cycle, we all have to choose to pull in positivity however we can and kind of just stay focused on what we can control and not what we can't control. Okay. So again, year one, new identity, new timeline, new version of self. If you are coming up with a business model or you're coming up with a new version of you, a new personal version, write down your rules. This is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm willing to accept. This is what I'm willing to partake in, and stick to your own rule book. Stick to your own playbook. Um, Always remember that the universe is give and take. So, um, we have to give something to receive something. So there's always a constant flow of giving and receiving in the universe. So whatever we're putting out is also what we're pulling in. So just us staying positive is going to put us in a better headspace. How to remove fear? Just remember that if you exist now, you'll always exist. And so there's nothing that we need to be scared of because there's really no end and no beginning. We are really just here operating in these bodies, um, in our avatar almost, or in our character, in a space and time where our energy has decided to come here and be in this space. And so the quicker we understand that there's no end and there's no beginning, um, for us, there's no endpoint, we can be less fearful of the things around us. Okay. So we can't fear the end. We can just understand that there are things that we need to do while we are here. And so what we've been stagnant in, and we talked about this with the holding back, there are things that we have to finish. Okay. Our spirit guides are sick of us. They are they are definitely saying like, "Hey, I need you to move. I need you to shift. I need you to pick up your feet and start moving because if you don't, you are late. You are showing up late to the party." And yes, I understand that people always say, "Hey, there's always time. You can always recreate. Um you can always shift into the identity of the person that you want to be. But now is the time for shifting. I cannot express this more than I need you to understand, like, now is the time for shifting. If we are not shifting now, we're late to the party, okay? And I know some of y'all likes to be casually late. We like to show up casually late. We want to make an appearance. It's time to make an appearance, okay? We're already showing up late. The time is ticking. The party's gonna be over if you don't get there now, okay? So please stop holding back on your gifts in 2026. I need you to start focusing on moving. And so once you start to move, you will see all the things, the actions will start to align. We have to move. So The old people used to say, well, biblical, in biblical terms, they will say faith without works is dead. So what is works? Okay. So listen, works is the movement and the action that has to be taken in order for you to get to what you are asking God for. You're asking the universe to show up and do all these things for you. What are you doing for the universe? Okay. So, yes, faith without works is dead because you have to move. You have to take action in order for things to come back to you. You cannot stand still and expect that things are just going to come to you, just going to move. They won't. I promise. You have to show action. You have to take steps towards who it is that you want to be, and you have to take steps toward achieving the things that you're asking for. Without those steps, without that action, without that work, then you are gonna still be living in a year 9, which is a clothing cycle, while you're in your year 1. This year is so amazing, guys. Like, this is the year that you can recreate your new life cycle. So listen, realize I lived through a cycle for 2 cycles. I opted in to live in the same space for 2 cycles. That is 18 years. I will not. I will not walk into another year living in the same cycle that I have been living in for 2 cycles before this because I chose to opt into my old cycle. You can do that. So you can choose to keep learning on the path of your old cycle. Why though? Why? If you've already learned the lesson, why are you like, it's like beating a dead horse. Like, why are you keep being that thing when you already know what you're supposed to do? You already know. Why are you beating at it when you've already learned it, you already have it, you've already consumed it. You have everything within you that you need to move forward. Just move. Just move. Just take the action. So, um, I want you guys to realize that 2026 is a major year for us. It's a new year. Um, it is a new timeline. It is time for us to really, really shift and move. I am currently creating a podcast and community um for us, and it will be launching in January, so you guys will see some information on that. If you want to join the wait list for the Unstuck as Fuck community, go ahead and click the link below and join the wait list. The Unstuck as Fuck podcast and community will be coming full circle this January. It has been something that I've been working on and not releasing all the end of this year, probably since about June of last year. But I fear I will no longer be holding back. So I will be giving you guys all of the messages that I have downloaded, and all of the things that we will be collectively moving on. Unstuck as for community will focus on shifting us in marriages, money, momentum, um, and mysticism. Okay. We will be moving together collectively to make sure we hold the momentum that we need to, and we're doing the things that we need to do. Y'all know I'm a money girl. I love money. And I know that I'm here to help people, help us learn how to create money around different things. Remember that money is energy. Whatever you're putting out, you get back. So please remember that your marriage is super, super important. There are some things that you need to shift in order for your marriage to work properly. We'll be talking about all those things in Unstuck as for community. Momentum, we will keep it. And mysticism is going to be huge over the next cycle. You have to really get in touch with yourself in order to make sure that we are moving as a collective energy. Remember, like, subscribe so you can get more of my messages. Um, Old messages right now are hidden because I need to understand what to do with those at the current time, but I just needed to come here and drop this to you before year end so that you know what's coming and you know what we need to do to shift and move. Okay.